England versus Afghanistan in the Cricket World Cup today. It's being played out in Manchester, and to be honest, you'd have to say it's pretty much looks like a one-sided contest. Yes, England looking much like title contenders, like everyone had said before the start of the tournament. Afghanistan, a lot of people are thinking, will they even walk out of this tournament with a single win? Sorry, had to hit you with a dose of reality, but sometimes reality and starts of a show, they sort of go together. I'm joined in ESPNcricinfo Match Day as we look ahead to this game by Mike Hussey and Graham Swan, who's joining us from England. Guys, England-Australia is still 1 week away. Just put it out there. Graham, you got any pot shots taking at your good friend over here in studio with us, Mike Hussey?
No. Hussey's the last intelligent man to play for Australia, so there's no point having pot shots at this current team. None of them understand it anyway, so there's no point.
One-sided, Huss. Is that the right way to say it? If it is one-sided, beyond the obvious, there is 2 points for England. What do you suppose would they be looking to get out of this game?
Well, it's going to be interesting to see what the England makeup is. Obviously, Jason Roy's injured himself, and Owen Morgan's got a bit of a cloud over his fitness as well. So I wouldn't be surprised if England decided to rest a couple of players, give a few other guys an opportunity to play. Because, yeah, you're right, they would expect to win and to win well. But it's dangerous also to take anyone too lightly, because Afghanistan do have some match winners in their team. You know, someone like a Rashid Khan's just an absolute jet.
Yeah, Graham, they're saying Jason Roy is out for 2 games. Owen Morgan, there's a bit of a question mark on his availability as well. How are you changing your playing 11 then?
Well, quite simply, if Jason Roy doesn't play, you bring in James Vince, who's a very good player, and I think would relish the chance to get a big score against Afghanistan to try and cement a place in the team moving forward. And for Owen Morgan, very simply for me, you bring Moeen Ali back. I can't believe Moeen Ali's not playing. It's very obvious that when Moeen Ali and Adil Rashid don't play together, they're not as effective. So this is the team if Owen Morgan's fit and he plays, but if Owen Morgan is not, Moeen Ali must come back into this team. The England spinners, when they're on their own playing as a sole spinner, I think they're exposed and they're not very impressive. When they play as a unit, as a pair, they're very, very good at what they do.
Graham, would you agree that one of the reasons why you brought on James Vince is also because you don't want to dislodge Joe Root of that number 3 position? That is his, and he owns that position like no one else?
Well, I don't know. Joe, he does own that position, but when he went to open the batting against the West Indies, he showed what an easy game opening the batting actually is. That me and Huss have known this all along, and he scored 100. So, Joe Root is a world-class player. I think there are 3 or 4 world-class batsmen, or the best of the best at this World Cup. Joe Root is undoubtedly one of them. I'll let you guess who the others are. 2 of them are Indian. But Joe is a superb player. Look at that average, look at that strike rate. His 100 against the West Indies was just pure class. It was sublime to watch. He could bat anywhere in the top 4. But James Vince coming in for Jason Roy, I think balances the team nicely. And James Vince, I don't agree necessarily with giving other people a run out, because I think that demeans the opposition. But if you've got the chance to play James Vince, you should get him in. He's a class batsman. His average of 28 is disgraceful for someone of his ability. He needs to learn that, if he gets the opportunity, bang a massive 100 out, make himself in contention for the big games.
Graham, if England win the toss, decide to bat first, are we seeing a 450 plus score on the cards?
I'm not saying that, because England are not very good players with spin still, especially wrist spin. And Rashid Khan, as Huss said, is an absolute jet, or a gun as we call it in England. I don't think you can just say 450. They have 10 overs there when they can't afford to be complacent, they have to really be on their mettle. And then the other 40 overs, you think that maybe, yes, you could get a decent total. But to go into a game demeaning the opposition, saying, yeah, we'll get 450, is a very, very dangerous game to play in cricket. And after all, England are the team at World Cups who tend to lose to the minnows. Take Ireland and Bangladesh in 2011 when I played.
So you reckon, of course, taking cue from what Graham just said right now, when you're playing against a side and you don't really have much to lose, and you already considered the minnows, if I may say that, sometimes that gets the best out of you? In individual performances, if I may say. Yeah,
I think so. It's a great opportunity for Afghanistan, and you find a lot out about the character of their players. If you're playing against one of the big teams and you can put in a great performance, then that puts your name up there in lights, and it certainly you gain respect on the world stage. So it's a great opportunity for Afghanistan. Just coming back to a couple of Swanee's points, I wonder, with Joe Root batting so well opening the batting against the West Indies, whether England might think about keeping him at the top of the order and opening the batting with him. And then that gives them an opportunity to get in a Moeen Ali, which I actually agree with Swanee. I think England look a better team with Moeen Ali in the team, but they're finding it a little bit hard to get him in at the moment. So that might be an opportunity to get someone like a Moeen Ali into the team. So
you're not worried about the balance being a little bit tinkered with then?
Oh, I think it's a better balanced team with Moeen Ali in there. One, I think the spinners complement each other quite well. I feel as though Moeen Ali is a quality batsman as well. He'll play down the order a bit further, and it's just a case of everyone else pushing up. So it's a tough one, but if it depends on which way you want to go. If you want to get the specialist batsman in at the top, someone like a James Vince, who I agree with, Swanee's a very, very good player. Yeah. But then long term, who gives you the best chance of winning the whole tournament? Is it having the two spinners working really well in tandem? And we've seen how India have used the two spinners extremely well together. Or do you need to have the better batting, sort of, or the stronger batting in that lineup?
Graham touched upon Afghanistan and their spinners. You suppose that is their best chance to get something out of this contest? How they go about that?
Yeah, and Swanee mentioned it, that England, much like Australia really, haven't played spin all that well in the past. Rashid Khan is extremely difficult to face. Nabi is a quality spinner as well, changes his pace really well. So that's their big chance to try and make some inroads. They'll try and pick up a wicket or two with the new ball. Joe Root is the key wicket for England. He plays spin well, but he can also play the quicks well. He holds that England batting order together. If they can get him early, get some of the other more attacking players having to face the quality spin, then you never know. They might be able to restrict England to a decent total. But on current form, England are an outstanding team and deservedly be one of the favourites.
Mike, on current form for Afghanistan as well, the way they've been batting in the World Cup so far, win the toss, and if they choose to bat first, what do you suppose is a realistic target that they should set for themselves? 200, 250, somewhere in between that?
Yeah, it's difficult. That's been a bit of their issue so far in this World Cup, is batting out their 50 overs. So that should be the big long-term goal, is to bat the 50 overs, but then how do they go about doing it? I wouldn't be looking so much as a target in mind, because you can get yourself in trouble if you're looking too far ahead. They just need to break the innings down into small little blocks. Jofra Archer's going to be a key. How they play the extra pace of Archer, Wood, those sort of guys is going to be a key thing. They've got to find a way to survive and then try and score some runs off them as well. So that's going to be the challenge, getting enough runs. They've got some good players in their batting order.
Your 11? What's the 11 then?
Well, I'm actually going to go with the same 11. There's a bit of discussion about Najibullah, and he was controversially left out. He'd actually done okay. He scored a 40 against Sri Lanka and he'd got a 50 against Australia. He went out of the team and Asghar Afghan came in. Now, he didn't get any runs in the last game against South Africa, but it's a bit of a tough call just to give him one game and then get rid of him. So do they try and find another place for him? Shahidi and Rahmat haven't really set the world on fire lately. I'd like to back them in a little bit more. Go in with the same 11, show a bit of faith in them, and let's see how they go against, arguably one of the best teams in the world.
Finally, last word with you, Graham. From an England perspective, beyond the 2 points, what would you want to be seen from your team once they go out on the field tomorrow?
Well,
what would you want to take away from that?
I want to see this team be ruthless and be unlike English teams have in the past. It is a smaller opposition on paper, but they have to be treated with 100% respect. I think if you ease off the pedal at all, if you're batting first, that demeans the opposition. If you have them 5 down and you ease off, you don't attack and go for the jugular, that demeans. I want to see a ruthless performance from England, a performance that tells everyone else in this World Cup, this isn't an England team with a soft underbelly, this is an England team who mean business. And I expect to see that. I don't think Owen Morgan will stand for taking the foot off the gas, treating this game lightly. I think England will really go to win this one hard, and that's what I want to see.
He's sounding like an Australian, isn't he? I like it.
I just need to say, mate, at the end, and we're there.
Since you brought it up, Mike, I'm just going to say England, Australia, what's the prediction then? I know we're a week ahead from that game. Behind that game.
It's going to be a great game to watch. I'd be surprised if Australia don't win that by 10 wickets. We'll pile up about 350, 360 and roll England for about 100, I would have
Graham,
thought.
I hope you can hear that.
Australia will block their way to 280 like they've been doing all tournament. They're 10 years behind us. You need to get in charge.
Graham Swan, Michael Hussey, guys, thank you so much for joining us on ESPNcricinfo Match Day as we were building up to England versus Afghanistan. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.
Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and leave your comments in the comment section below. Click on the bell icon for notifications.